Welcome to a brand new episode of the Real Life Podcast, a member of the Nation Network of Podcasts and delivered by DoorDash.
Welcome to Real Life, everyone.
What is going on right now?
I think that I'm in love with Matthew Kachuk.
Are you guys all drunk?
Welcome in episode 368 of the Real Life Podcast. Tyler Uremchuk, Zach Lang. Zach Lang, whoa! Hello, Zach.
Zach Lang.
What up? I said that very casually, then I remembered you're not usually on this podcast, so I should give you like a bigger intro, you know?
That's exciting. Thank you. I'm excited to be here. Jay's not here today, so I bullied my way into the podcast studio. So
smart.
Yeah, Amar was like, hey, you want Zach to sub in? I'm like, oh, no, it's fine. He's like, why? Do you hate Zach? I was like, oh, okay. Well, they're like, yeah, sure. Zach can come on the show. I don't know. I didn't think of it from that angle. I was
Sounds like you hate everybody today.
Wow.
So Baggedmilk is,
life?
Yeah, Baggedmilk, you can get into it because you're just trying to make me look bad.
Not trying to?
it is a bad look, Tyler.
No, it's
We
not.
have got an image problem we're trying to work through here.
Uh-huh.
And this is not going to help. Wanye, let me run a scenario by you, okay?
Please. I'm waiting with bated breath, as they used to say in the Old Testament.
Pretend that your pal Baggedmilk has got a tea time for two, right? Sorry, Tyler. Out near and my buddy backed out. And I call you and I say, Wanye, I got a tea time for two. Will you come join me at this course that maybe isn't your favorite course?
Now, we're talking like this is actually what happened, because from where I sit, there's snow in the ground, brother. And that is too early to be golfing.
It's a hypothetical.
I'm getting
I got you. Continue. Yes.
So I'm just inviting you out for a round of golf. All you have to do is show up with your clubs. Old Baggedmilk's paying for everything.
Sure. Oh, boy, this is going to be great.
But it's a course you dislike. Would you attend this invite? Because Tyler, I asked him the exact same scenario. He says you couldn't even pay me to come golf with you there.
No.
Did he not say that?
Yeah,
You couldn't pay me.
Hold your horses.
Wow.
You couldn't pay me $100 to come golf with you there, is what you said.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
Nope. Not even remotely on par with what was said.
Free round of golf. I just said, you just got to come to a course you don't really like all that much. And Tyler says you couldn't pay me $100 to come golf there.
Nope. I specifically said I would say Baggedmilk, let's go golfing.
But I've already got the tee time. I've already got it set.
And I said, I'll find us a tee time somewhere else and we'll go golfing.
When did you get so bougie?
My treat, I even said.
Is this what happens when we haven't done shit in so long that we're just making up fights with each other because nothing's happened in real life in so long?
Probably.
It's true.
Yeah. No, we were talking about
rather than actually going golfing and getting mad about something that occurred, me and Uremchuk are fighting over fictional fights.
Yeah, because I invited him to this fictional tea time and he disrespected me and said you would have to pay me over $100 to come and attend this tea time.
Listen here, you two were talking about kissing each other on Twitter the other night.
Which I have
a
not-
hard time believing that this is a real fight.
Which I have yet to collect, Tyler.
And
Right.
you're,
So you're
not with this
simultaneously mad at him for
disrespect.
ditching you at fake golf and not kissing you because of a Twitter.
That's right. And now the kiss is also collecting interest. So just keep that in mind, Tyler.
So let the record show that 5 minutes before this hypothetical conversation that Baggedmilk is thrown out there, Liam and I were talking about our plans to go golfing this summer. And we said, Baggedmilk, would you come? You said yes. And then we even said, we made plans. Oh, one
Note
day
how
this
quickly
week.
I said yes. I said,
Uh-huh.
without hesitation. I said, yes, I would be happy to join
then
you.
I took the lead of saying, look, there's a course right by our office. We could go, blah, blah, blah. It'd be fun. And you were like, I suck, but you know, is that fine? And I was like, yes, absolutely it is. And then you were bringing up a course that you knew I didn't enjoy playing at and I wouldn't want to go to.
So I offered you the scenario.
Mm-hmm. And I said we could go anywhere else. I would pick the course. I would book the tee time myself. And then I even said, I would love to golf Riverside again. It's a nice course.
Yeah, okay.
And then I even said I would go with you to this bad course if you picked me up and I could just get drunk.
Yeah, so I have to pay him. I have to pay for his round of golf. I have to
never
pick
said
him up
that.
and then cart him around.
I just don't want to golf at that one place. So, you know.
So you got bougie.
Where don't you want to golf?
It's but he told me I'm not allowed to say that.
It's awesome. You can hit a dinger all the time off the tee and find it no matter where she sprays.
That's why it's a good course for me because I'm not good at golf.
Yeah,
Big
man. I
fairways
got these
or what?
little old pine trees separating fairways. You can hit through those.
Yeah, it's fun. That's a course for me right now. My skill set, Tyler.
One time in like the late 90s, early aughts, one New Year's Day, for some reason, it was like no snow in the ground and opened for like a week. And I remember me and my little buddies got our parents to drive us out there. We're like, we're playing golf on New Year's Day, boys. That could be you, Uremchuk. You could be prepubescent me one day.
What? Fair, I guess.
You never know if you believe.
Yeah. Okay.
Well said.
Anyway, I was just disrespected today. I needed the listeners to know.
You are like Michael Jordan. You're just making up the disrespect in your own head to fuel yourself.
That's right.
Wow.
Everything's
Michael
getting paid
Jordan,
views.
the GOAT.
Yep. Thank you.
I just paid you a nice compliment.
Yep.
Feel like we're even now.
No, you're coming with me.
Great place to golf. It's open on New Year's Day sometimes.
Tyler is writing down notes very, very quickly because he told me not to say the name of the course.
Why, you got to deal?
Not the course that Tyler wants to golf at.
I'm going to beat the hell out of you guys.
Well, it's either we talk about or we talk.
Pissing off.
It's either we talk about or what happened to Robert Kraft. You know.
That talk about
I
Robert
would love
Kraft,
to get
please.
into that.
I'm not even going to clean it up anymore. You can. The people
We can
know
talk
it's a
about
joke
that. That'd
now.
be great. You know he's engaged.
Really?
Yeah, to like a 36-year-old lady. Look it up.
Good for him.
Respect.
Yeah. Why not?
How'd they meet?
He's like, I don't know how to read.
Reading's overrated as far as I know.
Engaged.
Like, hey,
She's
girl,
a doctor.
let's get together. Don't ever Google me.
Wow. So she's smart too.
How 47
She's
year old
smart. Robert Kraft's worth like $6 billion or some shit.
The billionaire businessman is set to wed his 47-year-old doctor girlfriend, whom he's been dating for 3 years. Popped the question with a 10-carat ring. Kraft has a net worth of $8.3 billion. His wife Bee
8.3.
boasts her own slew of accolades in the medical world as one of the top eye doctors in the country.
Oh, an optometrist.
Wanya, is this the new big power couple?
I guess her eyes don't work so good when it comes to what has your husband been up to in the past on the Google. Guess her eyes don't work so good.
Wow, did you know before this, Robert Kraft was married to his college sweetheart since 1963, and then she died in 2011?
Oh my God, I didn't. Is that true?
That's what dailymail.co.uk says.
That's the third most reputable British newspaper.
Liam, come confirm.
Yeah, Liam
That's
is
actually very sad, Robert Kraft. I apologize for chirping you. You can go get your rocks off.
But then he immediately started dating an actress, or a year later.
Wait a minute.
How reputable is the dailymail.uk, Liam?
I want Liam on mic here for this. We're going to
Sit
rant
down, Liam.
some English
Yeah, sit
newspapers.
down, Liam.
You're going to have to pot up mic one. Good
Liam,
man.
what are the most trustworthy English newspapers in your opinion?
All time?
Yep.
Just in England.
Yep.
All time. Like, what are you going to pull the newspaper from the 60s?
Sun?
Like the
I think
Sun.
the Guardian seems pretty good.
How's the Daily Mail?
How about the Daily Mail?
Yeah, I would say that's probably number 3 on the list.
That's what I said.
That's exactly what
Oh,
Wanye
we don't
said.
need a real Brit. I'm as good as any.
Wanye probably ranking his English publications.
Aren't they all
There's
just
things you know
massive
and things you're
tabloids
born
though?
knowing.
I was only 12.
Okay.
When I lived there.
That's
Didn't
fair
really, I skipped to the sports section for the most part.
All right.
Well, I know that the Sun franchise in Canada, like the Calgary Sun, Edmonton Sun, etc., is largely based off of the Sun from England.
Yeah, my parents would always read The Sun, and then on Sundays they would read The News of the World, which only came out on Sundays.
Wow.
Yeah,
That sounds like it's full of conspiracy theories.
it was,
Did you
doesn't
live
sound
on
sketchy at all.
Coronation Street?
again, I never read it.
Liam doesn't have headphones in, Wanye, so he actually can't hear anything you're saying specifically.
Perfect.
Liam, Wanye wants to know if you lived on Coronation Street.
Very close.
Really?
Yeah, very close. Coronation Street was so it's shot in Manchester, which is where I'm from. Close by, and my granddad lived like 20 minutes away from the set of Coronation.
That's incredible.
Yeah. I love it.
The dart throws are working today, boys.
Yeah. Hit all hits, no misses.
Once again, also, Wanye, I would like to let you know that both Zach and Tyler are watching the Masters as we're
You
recording
pop on
this
headphones,
podcast.
Liam. Hang out for a little. I know you were eating a
Yeah, chill,
strudel.
buddy.
Lemon twist from
A lemon twist from bread and
Bread and
butter.
butter.
bread and butter.
I have a problem with bread and butter, and the problem
Uh-oh.
is everything is so delicious. I feel
There we
like
go.
I am going to literally erupt into a 600-pound man.
And then you won't be golfing with anybody.
No. I'll be sweating for everyone.
We could walk.
Oh, you could roll me over.
Do you ever walk the course when you golf, or are you a
I always
strictly
walk.
cart guy?
I walked the course once, and it was Canada Day last year, and I went to the one out by Tollfield, Coal Creek.
Oh yeah.
And the only reason we walked is because it rained so hard that the carts weren't in use. And I had so many blisters and I never want to do it again.
I always walk.
It was awful.
I like to walk.
My dad always walks and I always get a cart and make him walk next to me.
Back in my youth, when I worked at a golf course back in Calgary, it was a massive course with a ton of hills and we used to walk it all the time and I'd be exhausted afterwards. But now I'm old and fat, so I would probably just take a cart everywhere.
Yeah, my dad will only golf if he's got a cart. That man, like his like knees and stuff aren't great, so he's not walking no matter what. But he will, like, he's adamant he always needs a cart. So I'm usually in a cart as well. But I always say every year going into the golf season, I'm always like, I need to walk more. Like
if you come on this tee time that you're ignoring me for, you will be walking the course. All 18 holes, maybe 36, depending on how many holes we get in that day.
When I play with somebody who wants to walk, here's how I talk them off the ledge.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, you could walk. There's no doubt. I bet you taking a cart will take 3 strokes off your game.
See, I wanted this year to be the year that I really got back into golf. Like, I miss golfing in general. Like, I used to do it a shitload when I was younger. And now I have to have knee surgery next week. So now I definitely won't be golfing this year.
And an interesting part about your knee surgery is that you said you're Googling and watching the video of the surgery you're getting.
Yeah, I already watched it like 2 or 3 times. It's going to be awesome.
Why? Are you going to help?
I wish I could. My anesthesiologist said I won't be able to, though. He's going to put me fully asleep and give me a nerve block in my leg. So I'm excited for it.
When was the last round you did?
Well, I'm on a bit of a hiatus.
I know. That's what I'm asking.
2019.
Oh, man. I feel like this is
Thing.
Oh, that thing?
Yeah.
I feel like this is the year of bag milk. This is my golf journey.
Man, remember our dreams last summer? Remember how you and I had all these plans? No offense. This may be your summer. Wow. I just broke my heart once, so now I don't make plans.
Well, I'm thinking the year of golf bag milk then, because I've still got those same plans, and we'll see how it goes.
Are you going to drink red wine on the course?
Can I? Should I bring my wineskin?
Drink
That's a great idea.
Just don't get caught.
I think so. Wineskin plays.
I got caught once drinking outside alcohol on a course last year. I've been caught once in my life, and it was last year.
What happened?
The cart lady pulled up and she was like, any drinks? And me and the person were like, nope, we're good. Thank you. She goes, by the way, not allowed to bring outside booze onto the course.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, sorry. And she's like, you should probably get rid of those. And then she sped away. And that was like the 3rd hole. And she drove by and gave us the dirtiest look. She didn't stop for us once. We were willing to buy beer after that because we felt bad that we had gotten caught. And usually I buy 1 or 2 from the course. But if you're really getting after it in a day, you throw a little bit of rye in your bag. Like, what's the big deal? She
what's
just wants to be paid
You're
off.
The first person in the history of time to do that, for heaven's sake.
So what you got to do? You just got to slip them a $5 or a $10 and just,
or tip well when you buy your first one. The mistake was not buying the first one from her. And then she was mad, which is understandable. That's how she makes her money. I'm not saying anyone's at fault, but she straight up.
Oh, you were definitely at fault.
I know
the rules.
Yeah.
She sped by me. And like, there was once I kind of like gave a little wave, like, oh, hey, can I? And then just right past. And I was like, all right, I am not buying anything.
You burned your bridge.
Everybody brings birdie juice onto the course or par juice or bogey juice, depending on how terrible of a golfer you are.
Yep. I'm awful. So way she goes.
So bogey juice then.
Yep.
Trick to coming back from a long layoff in golf is just play the easiest, shittiest courses you can and build up your confidence.
Do you have any in mind?
Victoria golf course is not shitty, but it's very short and it's great. If you go play Victoria, you'll come away being like, oh, that wasn't so bad. I still got a hit.
Right down the road from Oakwood Towers.
Oh, just down the hill.
That's right.
I used to always play at Cardiff when I was growing up, just because that's another one where it's just everything's wide open.
I love Cardiff. That's one of my favorite places to go during the year.
Yeah.
Wales. Hey, you like going to Wales?
I love that.
That's a joke for you,
the Welsh
Liam.
people.
I am.
When's the last time you heard a Wales joke in Canada, Liam?
Never.
Yeah, there you go, buddy. That was for you.
Yeah, I love it. That one par 3, I forget. I think it's hole 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it's 5 or 6, where it's nice. It's real hilly, and then you just got to land it over. I love that hole.
Do you ever go to Countryside?
No, I've never been there.
Has anyone ever been?
Listeners?
Is that in Wales? Listeners.
It's just off Highway 14. I wanted to get some reviews, but I'll keep my opinions to myself.
All right.
Let me know in the comments below.
Don't forget to hit the subscribe button while you're here. Also, please subscribe to the Nation Network YouTube. It would mean a lot. If you're listening to this and you don't subscribe to our YouTube, you're holding us back as a company.
Speaking of the YouTube, There was a kiss that was supposed to be delivered from you, Tyler, to Baggedmilk for
Yeah.
for the 2K. So there's two kisses.
You
that are
guys
owed
always
here.
twist my fucking words so much. It's
on Twitter.
Was what I read and retweeted.
I saw if the Oilers win tonight, I promise you a kiss.
yes, but that's different than the kiss Zach's talking about. That one was if the YouTube hit 2K by 5 o'clock that day, he would get a kiss.
And it
not.
did.
No,
Why are
it
you
hit it at
betting
like 5
Oh, it
kisses all of a
absolutely
sudden?
Well, first of
Like,
all,
we're
he's
publicly traded. You can't be betting kisses at work.
worst of all, he's betting kisses and not following through.
That's the real
That's
issue.
a welcher. We don't take that in the public markets.
Mm-mm. That's not what Playmaker acquired us for.
They'll be like, oh, playmaker down 97%. Your Remchuk equals welcher?
hmm
Great. Good job, your Remchuk. You take the stock.
That's why I tell him, you know what?
You tanked the stock.
It's a
Yep.
kiss with interest now.
Oh.
Kisses
What's the
are very
interest?
important in this company, Tyler.
You're not going to let him go bathing suit zone on you, are you?
Well, we'll see how much interest accrues. You know? Right now, it's a neck kiss, Tyler.
Oh, that's gross, man.
Liam, I'm going to
Yummy.
need you to junior high chaperone this dance and make sure everyone's standing at least an arm's width apart.
Room for Jesus. That's what they'd always say at the Catholic school I went to. Room for Jesus.
Did you ever get separated, your Remchuk? Were you dancing too close ever?
No, I don't. I don't
Oh.
got no. No, I'd never got.
Tyler would absolutely be a close dancer.
It's greasy out
I
there.
see him being
Oh,
like,
yeah.
hey, guys, we could go to the dance or we could go to the audio visual room and pretend to do sports radio.
Did you know that in grade 9, when we did a school, like they did, you do your school play, I was the audio guy for it. Like I controlled everyone's
Yeah.
mics. That was my role. I knew from a young age what my calling was.
You were born for it.
I
Yeah.
was.
I believe it. I don't feel like anyone who went to school with you is shocked at your career.
In grade 12, one of the like superlatives in the yearbook was most likely to host a sports talk show. I did not win.
Who won?
A girl by the name of Marinia.
Is she hosting a sports podcast?
She's dating someone who I used to work with at the radio station, though.
That's pretty
That's
close.
close.
It's close.
Sports show
Give it
adjacent.
to her.
But I actually did it, so I win.
I won best smile.
Oh,
Ah,
I can
look at
see
that
that.
smile.
Yeah, it looks nice.
in all of Wales.
It was a Welsh competition.
Yeah, he was there visiting with his family and won the competition.
Yeah. Just decided to enter in passing.
Liam, were you a close dancer in middle school?
No, I was too shy.
Oh, bless your heart.
I remember getting separated to Savage Garden truly, madly, deeply.
Ooh.
Too close.
Deep cut.
Great
I
jam.
remember a girl asking me in grade 7 if I wanted to dance the Stairway to Heaven, and I thought it's too long of a song and said no.
I mean, fair
Like,
point.
I didn't think I could hold my wits together long enough touching a lady on the shoulder for like 7 minutes of consecutive music. And I was
And
like,
how
I'm
would
not ready
you-
for that kind of commitment.
How would you get through the solo too? That's when it would get a little freaky, wouldn't it?
Yeah, towards the end where it really opens up.
You just really break it down.
Yeah.
I'd always
Drop
whirling
it to the
around
floor.
in dances accidentally make contact with other couples dancing, like eye contact. And then it just got like super weird because no matter where I looked, someone was staring at me. So for like 7 minutes of that shit, no thank you. I want a quick song and I'm out.
That's why they always ended it with November Rain too, you know? At least the high school dances I went to. Nice
And you got
slow.
some
high school dances. Do you ever go to junior high dances or were you guys
Of
not
course.
that sexually advanced?
Yeah. We had sock hops, we called them.
Why, you couldn't wear shoes?
Nope, no shoes. They
Wait a
happened
minute.
they
Sock
happened
hops. How old are you?
very, very old. Doesn't
I feel like
sh-
that's like Archie Andrews Riverdale type shit.
it doesn't show though. Hail Satan, as always. You know,
Whoa.
What?
Hold on.
That was aggressive.
you make a pact with Satan. That's why I still look the same age as I did in high school.
Pack still plays.
I would love to see a picture of you from high school.
What you're looking at right now, just picture that.
Facial hair abilities.
Zero.
So
Still
not
zero.
the same as now because you got the scruff going.
So
well.
basically, you're just Ryan Nugent Hopkins.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
It is it's almost, it's coincidental and maybe ironic that my guy is another guy who doesn't seem to age. We're both
Maybe you
titanium.
remember him from the 1700s. And this is a little joke you have together.
Little vampire.
You're like, oh, hey, the Nuge. Is that what you are now?
Mm-hmm.
from the 1700s.
Probably
You like that?
immortal.
We might be. Tyler, what else you got on your list over there?
This
Kiss,
is
question mark?
this is not a list of anything other than the amount of times I have to bleep out the name of the golf course.
Which one?
Why? Why don't you want to know you don't want to play there? It doesn't mean they're bad.
Yeah. If you are the management team, Tyler does not have any interest in your course.
Which course?
Stop. Seriously, I'm actually getting like somewhat irritated because it's going to take a lot of work now. Fuck you. Just for that.
Comes out, it's 45 seconds long.
Shortest real life episode ever.
Hey, tune into this week's
this is a
episode
short
on
one.
Reel or on YouTube when I conveniently forget to put the thing over Baggedmilk's face.
How dare you?
It's just you sitting there frowning with your arms crossed. You're like, well, there was a show, but I killed it. And then just you for an hour frowning.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's kind of what this show is sometimes anyways. This episode is not helping with my image problem.
No, especially since you turned me down to go golfing.
I did not. That is a lie.
All
Anyways, fantastic weekend of sports on tap, including the Edmonton Oilers. Before we get into that, as always, episode brought to you by our friends at the HGA Group, who we love very much. I would give them a kiss whenever they want. How about that?
What?
How about that?
Unbelievable.
Oilers taking on the Kings tonight. Big game for the Oily boys.
Here's what I want to say about it. If the Oilers play the way they did against San Jose, we're in for a rough night.
Oh man, that game was so boring.
It was incredibly boring. And the 8:30 start that doesn't kick off till 9:15 or whatever the fuck it seems like is just so
Good
irritating.
God.
The SAP arena can go to hell.
Why are they filming from space? That camera angle is so wide. Like, you got to tighten that up.
All of it. Like, it's just the rink always has no vibes. How are there Sharks fans? Who sits there and is like, go Sharks. Like, love that team. No one.
You know what's hilarious too is their AHL team, the Barracuda, literally play out of like a community arena.
Yeah.
Like it's ridiculously small.
People in
too.
San Jose, they'll love the Sharks. There's a lot of Canadians in the Valley, right?
Yeah.
I went to a game there during the playoffs and people threw French fries at me. I tried to fight like 4 people. And my cousin who lives in San Jose was horrified.
Did you catch any in your mouth?
What's that?
Did you catch any in your mouth?
No, they were ringing them off my head from like behind us.
Too bad.
I was the only guy in an Oilers jersey, me and Jay. And then we were drunkenly challenging everyone to fight, which is quite funny.
Makes sense.
Because nobody in San Jose is fighting at a game. They may tweet at you.
I was talking to Brownlee yesterday. He was saying San Jose is one of the worst places for a team to play because they have some weird city ordinance that you can't fly out past 9 p.m. So it's always an overnight game.
Ooh, that sucks.
Oh,
I'm sure
the San
owners
Jose
just
airport?
love that.
So it's like they can't fly out past 9 o'clock or whatever it is, Brownlee said. So you always have to stay over in San Jose. So teams, if they get a back-to-back situation where San Jose is on the first leg, that's a guaranteed loss, at least in Robin Brownlee's opinion. What do you think
Well,
about that, Tyler?
apparently that's back in the day. Now the Oilers have their own 747 where everybody has their own bedroom.
It just takes off like a Harrier straight up, no runway needed.
Yeah. Lands in the parking lot of the arena.
You ever see those TikToks where it's people using the plane, like flight simulators to land planes in challenging spots?
No.
No.
It'll be like land the plane on top of West Edmonton Mall and they'll like try. It'll be like, this is the shortest runway in the world. We're going to try take off. And like you watch, I don't know. I'm into it.
You watch weird stuff on TikTok.
Do I?
Your algorithm's a little messed up.
Your algorithm is not my algorithm. I'll tell you that much.
I had to delete it.
Why?
Too much time spent.
Did you? You got hooked?
Wow.
What were you doing? What were you putting back? Like an hour, 2 hours?
So I would get it and then I would, like my screen time comes up and it's like 2.5 hours up from the week before. I was like, holy smokes.
I'm really bad on TikTok because my girlfriend sends me a bunch of stuff and I never watch it. And then I send her like the same ones back without realizing it. And she's like, "Oh, I sent you that one the other day." And I was like, "Oh yeah, for sure. I noticed that."
I just wanted to emphasize how great it is.
Yeah, exactly.
It reminded me of you.
And she'll never know this because she won't listen to this podcast. So it's a safe space.
That's okay.
for
No
me.
one does.
Yeah, nobody listens to this.
Mhm. This is a safe space actually, because there is no one listening.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Not even the people at...
See, people are going to think I deleted something there, but I'm giving you credit for showing some ability to hold back.
Can we not talk about any golf courses negatively?
We
Why
talk
don't we
about,
talk about Augusta?
I would love to just sit here and talk about Augusta because this is an absolutely dynamite.
How's Tiger
weekend.
doing?
That's a good question.
How's
I think he's
even
1
after
under through
9?
17 right now.
How's Smith doing?
He's cruising.
Yeah,
You bet on Smith, Luke.
I
He
had
got
a
into some
free
trouble on
$10
18.
Free $10 bet on Smith to win.
There you go.
If you're listening to this and you are in Ontario, please go sign up, download the PointsBet Canada app. They are live in Ontario. To the people who signed up as Albertans, I'm sorry it's not in Alberta yet, but it's coming. And if you made an account with PointsBet and you're like, hey, I can't bet, they're not in Alberta yet, it's coming. So that account will be worth it. And when they do come to Alberta, we will do tons of fun stuff with them.
I can't wait.
I'm so excited. I'm
Super
such
excited.
a degenerate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Every
It's
day
bad.
before on Oilers games, when everybody's in the office, we always talk about the bets that go down. And it's very interesting to see people's plays. Liam, however, you are upsetting me lately because you keep betting under on goalie saves for the Oilers, which means they're probably lost.
Liam,
No, I don't bank on the Oilers to lose. I bank on Mike Smith to get pulled, which is a win.
it's honestly
Not
kind of a
anymore
fair
because he's
bet.
actually playing really well. But for a couple of weeks there, I was banking right off it. Like, I think I hit 4 or 5 or something like that. And even when they were like 25 and a half, they were hitting.
Oilers fans are so weird, right? Because we'll shit on somebody. And then on my podcast yesterday, I was pumping Mike Smith's tires because he's like you said, he's played really well over his last 5 games. And I took so much heat when my clip went out, just pumping that part of my podcast. People just don't want to hear it. You're either for or against right now.
You can't.
the other day I tweeted Mike Smith should be first star, and a guy on Twitter whose name is Smith needs to retire agreed with me. He's like, he should have been first star. What the hell?
Smith needs to
What a heel turn.
Yeah, this is just, we're bridging now. We're bridging gaps here. If Smith needs to retire on Twitter is coming around, then there's hope for Liam. There's hope for anyone.
Like I was very anti Mike Smith. I was in the he should be put on waivers thing. People always assume that when you have like a negative stance on a player that like you personally hate them. And I don't hate Mike Smith. It's fine. But then when he starts doing well, I have people, and Zach, I'm sure you get this a lot too. People will tweet me and be like, yeah, how you like that? You're Remchuk, you piece of shit. And it's like, okay, well,
I
like,
tweet that at you all the time.
it's like, okay, like the Oilers are winning. I'm happy. If Mike Smith gets 10 straight shutouts for the rest of the year, I will not sit there and be like, God damn, this is the worst. Like, I want the Oilers to win. I want them to do well. It's good for everything.
See, I'm kind of surprised because after the Mike Smith pass to McDavid, I literally tweeted, I was like, I have never said a bad word about Mike Smith. And I was fully expected to get absolutely torched because I've said a lot of bad things about Mike Smith in my time.
Sometimes you gotta, you know?
Well,
Well, it's what's being a sports fan, you know?
I like knowing who in the nation doesn't like players. So when they do something good, I'm like, oh, he's going to be so mad. That's part of the fun of it all.
Well, I find that interesting in that there's a certain segment of Oilers fans that they don't even want to give credit to a guy who they dislike, even when they're playing well. In this case, Mike Smith.
And
So,
that
well,
bugs
fuck
me.
you. He's been terrible all year. You can't just, well, like, all right, I'm not ignoring that. But like, you can tell a guy like that play to McDavid on the OT goal. That was beautiful.
Nuts.
It
It's an all-timer.
reminded me of Rolison and Pekka back in 06. You know,
I have not felt this shaky about Oilers goaltending since the Conklin Delorier years.
oh, that's rough. I was thinking
For
Scriven's
real, man.
fast.
It's a fucking circus.
Scriven's fast days for me.
Oh, those were rough.
Wow.
We even made T-shirts about that, and it didn't really age so well.
We got
Nope.
99 problems, but a goalie ain't one.
Did we make
We
a
had
shirt
one
like that?
good
I still
period.
have that
Well,
shirt.
Problem solved, boys.
It was a dope ass shirt
It
too,
was
to
a
be
sick
honest.
shirt. I still love that one.
We'll have to maybe
I would
dust
like
that one
to-
off.
Even though we had 199 problems and the goalies were 10 of them.
Yeah,
They were literally all of the problems.
but those couple of games though where they were hot. They were
yeah, I think
really,
it was like a streak of like 10 games where Scrivens and Fosh were like awesome.
What was the save? 57?
57 saves against
Yeah.
the Sharks.
yeah.
I was looking at some old nation stuff we've done on YouTube with Kennedy. And there's like a year where the highlights were Purcell scoring
Oh no,
and Petrell scoring in another one. He's like, oh, you guys didn't have like really good Oilers to build around back in the day. Hey, I'm like, no, Kennedy, we didn't. This was the best we had.
don't you find
Teddy
it?
Purcell was the answer.
Don't you find it, Wanye, almost amazing that the website got to be as big as it has, even though the teams were absolutely dreadful for most of it?
Oh, if you tried to make a website about like cats, but all the cats were dead, nobody would go to your cat
Yeah,
website.
nobody wants to see your dead cat website.
This historically bad team has unprecedented popularity.
And then every year in September, October, we're like, this is the year. This is the time we're going. There was
Yeah,
times
then Brownlee writes an article saying, no, they won't. And I'm mad at Brownlee till like January. Like, what a negative guy. We got to really sit him down and talk to him.
We
And he's
had-
right every year.
we had an event probably in like 2016, maybe 2015. I don't know if Connor was actually around yet. Maybe 2014. It's one of my first events with the nation, and it was a Halloween event, and the Oilers were basically out at that point because they had started the season so badly.
Ah, you can't win them all, boys.
Yep.
I remember my first nation party. It's when Kyla got the logo shaved into the side of her head. That
Ah, classics.
was a good one.
I don't remember mine because I never go.
How dare
It
you?
was pretty funny talking to Kennedy. She's like, wow, so you guys are making these videos 8 years ago. Hey, I'm like, Yes. And that was our like third kick at the cat of trying to make video content.
Yeah.
Look at us now, eh?
Yeah, I was going to say it only took a decade, and now the Real Life podcast is being recorded for YouTube clips.
Well, it's heavily redacted, but yes.
Yes.
Redacted.
A lot of today. Way she goes. Just in case you're wondering, Christopher Chalmers just texted in the group chat. I'm sorry, guys. My service is shit. We've only been recording for nearly an hour now. So Chris Chalmers mystery tour
without him being here. Did you see his wife on Twitter, the gaffe at the news today?
No.
So they're like, Erin Chalmers, our dear Christopher's wife, is on the news, CTV, right? Yeah, yep. CTV. And they pan over accidentally, like the camera did the wrong thing. And she's got her feet up on the desk and she's wearing slippers. And they just pan over to her and she's like, why am I on camera live?
It's global news. Global news.
Global. Sorry, that's global news.
Yeah. Oh, I'm looking at the video too right now. It's
quite funny.
She is just lounging and she just goes, oh boy.
Max and relaxing.
Like the news is occurring 3 feet away from her. And she's like, feet up.
I will throw that tweet in the article at OilersNation.com in case you're wondering.
Nothing bad with
I feel like we need to call attention to it.
Of course.
This is somewhat related, but not really. It reminded me of it. I keep getting Snapchat memories over the last 3 weeks of when I worked at TSN and there was no sports on because of COVID. And every day I would just take a video of me when the show started cracking a beer. And that's all we did for like 8 weeks at the radio station because there was no sports, is we just crushed like a couple of beers during the show. And that was it. Like that was a dark
What would you talk about?
Honestly, pretty much nothing. Like you'd do like a little 20-minute open on the pandemic. And then you'd come back and be like, so when the NHL gets going, who's on the Oilers' third line? And then like you'd get a little bit of a buzz going and there'd be nonsense for the rest of the show.
You're just triggering me about how many articles Zach Coombsy and I wrote about what to do with Andreas Athanasiou.
Oh my God.
There was fucking months of it. Do you sign him? Do you qualify him? I don't know. Maybe you bring him back. Maybe you don't. What do you do? I don't know.
What do you do? What are you going to do?
This week on the Andreas Athanasiou watch. What do you do this week? I don't know. Last week.
What should we do? He's pretty good. We should bring him back.
I'm gonna have to go back and read some of those because man, we dug in deep on some shit.
Yeah. Way she goes though, Tyler.
And then all that hype, the play-in series is coming. The bubble's in Edmonton.
We're going to win it on home ice, boys.
I even remember the Oilers put out on social media, they put that little video together of all the boys moving into the bubble at Rogers Place. And I was like, here we go. It was beautiful outside. We were getting photos from nation citizens. They're watching games in hot tubs and just at pools and shit. And it was awesome. And then it wasn't awesome.
They really haven't done much for us other than Connor and Leon, the two greatest players in the modern age.
Speaking of Leon, is he playing tonight?
Allegedly.
Yes. Gene Principe says he looks good to go.
I trust Gene. Gene's good people.
The second player in NHL history to score 50 goals.
Yeah, never happened before.
Never happened before Austin Matthews.
Yeah, it really is
unbelievable.
Yeah, crazy.
Mm-hmm.
They call scoring 50 getting the Austin.
Yes. Yeah. It's the Austin Matthews plateau.
Yeah. Oh, you got an Austin this year? Good for you.
Yeah. Everybody cheers for you. Everybody's excited. People
you meet
Toronto
Austin.
plan a parade.
You go have dinner with his family.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible because he very likely could hit 60 this year as well. So it's going to be remarkable to not only be the first 50 goal scorer in history, but the first 60 goal scorer as well.
Yeah.
Crazy times.
I'm sure.
Look, unless anybody's going to shoot their glove like Timu did when he won the rookie scoring, I don't think anyone even has the brass to score 50 these days.
Nope. Doesn't happen anymore.
Where's the celly? Leon smiled at 50. I thought his cheeks were going to shatter.
He had a great celly for it.
He did.
Yeah, he was pretty fired
Speaking of fired up cellies, how much would you like the Nuge celly the other day on the shorty?
Unreal.
Oh,
so fired up.
Pump.
And even the McDavid and Smith one was cool. McDavid went all the way down the ice on his knee or whatever he did. That was sweet.
It was all sweet.
Boys are showing some passion. I like it.
It's about damn
There's a lot of good storylines. You never know.
Like the energy around this team's feeling like it's building towards something like fun and special. You know, like I don't know if they'll go on a deep run or anything wild like that.
Yes, they will. It's the year. It's our year. Liam said so.
I try and be an optimist as much as I can, but they can do some damage in these playoffs. I genuinely think so. And they're catching up to Calgary too. And I think that's awesome because Calgary sucks.
Smith just needs to decide that he needs to end his career on a high note and play out of his mind for like 6 weeks. And we're good.
Yeah.
And we can sign him to a 2-year extension.
again.
At least
When you get the chance to, you got to take it.
You can't miss on those guys.
Also,
as
shout
long
out
as they
to
let Pugliarvi go and keep Kane, I'm happy. I don't care.
What?
Whoa.
Wow, come on. Clearly that's a jest. I said
Okay.
jest.
I didn't know.
Sorry, I've had a
Oh,
bit of a
edit
week.
out what I
I've had a bit of a week talking about Jesse Pugliarvi on Twitter, so I'm a little on edge about it all right now.
I love how he just goes and plays one season of tier 3 Finnish hockey and comes back a 30-goal scorer.
He's so good. He's just so damn good.
he just needs a little confidence. You know, seems like he's gripping the stick a little bit right now.
Yeah.
Nothing you can't fix. Just needs some goals. You know,
I think he's got to fill out his
12 in the
frame
year?
a
He's
little bit
done
more
great.
too.
I think he's done all right.
Speaking of all right, shout out to our friends at twigandberries.ca. Promo code Nation15
All
gets you
right.
15% off.
All
You
right,
can look
all
good
right.
this summer with Twig and Berries. I would argue you'll only look good this summer with Twig and Berries. Head over to their shop. They have one in St. Albert, and they're available online. Free shipping on orders over $75. Fantastic.
And you might just want to go to twigandberries.ca and check out pictures of bearded Brad. He's all over the front page.
Good for him.
You know, look at how happy he looks, Zach.
I know, it's incredible. I'm very happy for him.
He's a great model.
He's a great model. Super excited. Who wouldn't want to have him? Yeah. What else you got for us today, Tyler? You did a pregame show, big game against the Kings. What we need to do?
I mean, like a good start is always important for the Oilers. Make life difficult on Jonathan Quick because I don't think he's that good. That's a big key tonight as well.
I don't think the Oilers get enough traffic in front of goalies in general.
No, I don't think they do either. And that was part of the reason I was frustrated against. I was frustrated in San Jose is because it just felt like shots were just going to the net then dying. No secondary looks or anything like that. Super frustrating stuff.
They got to push the pace of play, right? And I think that's something they've been doing a lot more recently under Woodcroft. And I think they can take it to this LA Kings team. There's so much hype around LA, and I just don't believe it. I don't buy it. Like, I think they're a good team, but they're so weak on their back end right now, especially without Drew Doughty. Like, I think this is a team the Oilers can really exploit. And, you know, they pull out
Doesn't
the win last
Athanasiu
time.
play for the
He's
Kings?
hurt.
Yeah, he's hurt.
Oh, you guys must be upset.
Yeah.
You talk about Doughty being out though, but like it's Doughty, it's Mikey Anderson, it's Sean or Matt Roy, it's Sean Walker. They're
Like,
missing
this
like
was
basically their top four.
This was the same thing that they had like a week ago when they played, and the Oilers didn't they won, but they didn't really take advantage of it. That was an OT win.
Yeah, they need to play better than they did 8 days ago when they won. They need a win in regulation tonight.
How long are
they
those
do.
guys out for?
Matt Roy's back tonight, actually.
Oh, is he?
He is.
Yeah.
And then what about Doughty? Like, if we play him in the playoffs, are those guys playing or are they?
Doughty will play.
Yeah.
Are you talking about former Oiler Matthew Raw?
No, you're thinking of Matthew Roy or whatever.
Yeah, is that who you're talking about in the Kings? Is that what you're-
No, definitely not.
Or
It's
Matthew
actually not true
Garon.
because I know a friend of mine's sister married him. How's that sound?
Really?
They are not in LA.
Drafted in the 7th round, 215th overall by the Edmonton Oilers. Matthew Waugh went on to play 66 games in the NHL. Wow.
There you go.
Not bad.
He then finished up his career in the French League.
Oui.
Uh-huh.
I was just like a friend of Oilers Nation Radio, Sebastian Bassalion. Wasn't that league?
That was one of my favorite interviews we ever did because one, my Skype ran out of paid for minutes halfway through, so we had to recall him
That's
back.
class.
Yep.
And also he was great. Like, did we not stay on the line with him for like 45 minutes?
Yeah, it was supposed to be a 10-minute interview.
And we just hung out with him.
But like, that's the thing though. We've talked about on this podcast before with those dudes that have kind of been like journeymen, kind of bounced all over. They got the best stories.
Yeah. I remember the interview with Liam Reddix was a ton of fun when I did that.
They don't take it for granted.
Yeah, no, they didn't. They don't. It's really cool.
Also, just since we're talking a little bit of hockey, I want to give a shout out to a friend of the Real Life podcast, Sam Gagne, 500 points.
Yeah, good for him.
500 for Sammy G. What
I'm
a
happy
career,
for him.
hey? Like, I mean, whenever you see a high pick like that, you're always on draft day. It's like, oh, this guy's going to be a star. Like, here's what, more often than not, they're not stars. More often than not, you know, a guy picked in Gagne's range is usually going to make an NHL career out of it. But for him to grind the way he has and change his career a few times like he did to now where he's just like an effective role player for the Red Wings. Really
How
cool.
old is he now?
Thank God we let him
like
go.
32, 33.
He's
32.
32, turning 33 on August 10th, and he's pushing 1,000 games too, so he's going to hit that right away.
That's awesome.
Unreal.
What's he
Because we
at?
shoehorned him into the
56.
league on his 17th birthday and then wished him luck.
Well, that's the thing too. Like, I'm looking at it, he's 32 years old, but you'd think he's been around for 50 years at this point. He's just been Yeah, 2007, 2008 was his first year with the Oilers.
Did he come in straight as a
Yeah.
rookie?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Draft.
Well, it's wild to look back at that time. The Oilers were so desperate for like young players and young talent that he essentially had to step in. And it's been kind of cool to see like the transition of the Oilers as a franchise now, where these younger guys that are coming in that are high draft picks don't have that pressure to come on and be studs for the team right away. Like a guy
Like Justin
Donnie
Schultz.
did. Yeah, exactly.
We signed him at the NCAA. We're like getting him fitted for his Norris Trophy winning jacket right off the hop.
Hey, Mac T City had Norris Trophy potential, man.
And
Yeah,
we're like, no, you don't. Get out of here.
Like a case in point for what Zach's talking about is Dylan Holloway. If this is 2012, Holloway is already with the Oilers.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm glad.
Did he
he's
bust
not.
his wrist?
Yeah, he had something with his wrist. He had to get surgery on it a couple of times.
Yeah, it was
He broke a
last
weird
season.
bone in his hand or wrist.
Yeah, and
That's like super difficult to heal.
I think he had surgery, and it went wrong, or didn't heal right, and then he had to get it again. Right?
Yeah,
That's what happened.
he had a
Now
crack.
he's doing pretty good.
Yeah, he's
But
doing
you
really
said you're happy that he's down in Bakersfield.
I just don't think the role that we want him to play is available in Edmonton right now.
I
Like, you
agree.
kind of want him as a top six forward, right? Like, I just don't think the top six needs to be messed with at the moment.
Why don't we just take away all of his offensive upside, give him minutes on the fourth line that are few and far between,
Mhm.
then blame him when we get rid of him?
I
Yeah.
agree.
That's the play.
Well, the thing
That's
that
the
I
move.
have, the thing that I have with it is, what is he really going to bring to the table that the team doesn't already have at this point in time?
I think so too.
Right? Like, why rush him? Like the Condors clinched the playoffs. He's going to get some experience in the pro game and playoffs down south. Like, I think that's the perfect spot for him to be in right now, where he can kind of carry the load and go from there with it.
But mystery box, huh?
Uh,
Huh?
It's true.
Have you
I-
considered that?
It's a good point.
Yeah.
Like Holloway is playing good right now in Baco. And I wonder how much they're going to massage that into their offseason plans. Like, let's say they do find a way. Is Holloway's emergence this year or late this year in the American League, is that going to cost a guy like Warren Foegele a spot this summer?
Yes.
yes.
I like Warren Foegele.
I like Warren
Why?
Foegele
Me
too.
too. He wears glasses.
He just does nothing.
Yeah, he's under.
What?
Well,
He
you know,
always gets shit done, man. He finishes his checks. He makes little plays. Every time he's on the ice, he does something.
I think he's an underrated player who's in his first year with the team, and he's still posting very solid underlying numbers. Like, he's a plus player in Corsi and in expected goal share, and he's got a low PDO too. And he's been
What do
saddled
those
with,
words mean?
I know, sorry. He's saddled with like
Spreadsheet
terrible.
boy.
Yeah, I'm a numbers guy.
PDO.
He's saddled with like Zach Cassian, for God's sake.
I wouldn't
Like,
be
he's got
surprised.
nobody to play with. He's a young guy. on a
He
cheaper
had
deal.
games with guys to play with. He didn't do anything with them. Like you mentioned Corsi last game. I think he had 5 individual Corsi events. He hit the net once.
Yeah, but he was like 80% in shot attempts.
Okay, but
Like
he didn't
12-3,
do anything
right?
with the shots is my point. And it's been all year where he's not doing anything with his shots. So if it was a 10-game sample where it's like, man, he's just unlucky, I'd be like, yeah, sure. But it's been like all year. And I don't think he plays overly physical enough to make an effect in the bottom 6. I want to like him because I think the storyline's great. And that style of player should work really well here. I just think a lot of the time he just leaves me wanting more, maybe. Is
Did
the
you
better
hear
way to
what
put it.
Stauffer was talking about on his show the other day?
I did.
Like 2 weeks ago when he said they couldn't move him?
I was
This
talking about
was-
it the other day.
No, when was it exactly? It was like 2
Yeah,
days
just
ago.
the other day. I sent it into our group chat.
It was basically, and I'm paraphrasing here. He was talking about the Oilers can keep Kane, Puljujarvi, and Yamamoto, but they're going to have to be creative. There's ways to do it. So he was kind of
Yeah,
floating it
not
that
keep Kane.
Well,
Now,
I have this theory because of what happened with the Rangers last year. Or they were like, "Oh, we want a tough guy." Do you think the Anaheim Ducks would now want to have a tough guy, or what if they would like take Cassian?
I could
That's
see
just
it.
like something that kind of because they got Reeves.
It's
Right?
the narrative play, right?
Yeah,
it
like
can make
that.
sense. You look at what happened with Troy Terry and Zegras last week.
You can't imagine they want that to happen again.
Oh, absolutely
They've got to
not.
Have someone down there. Like, is Cassian the guy?
But isn't that why we got Cassian? Then he never does it for us.
But I don't
Yes.
think we need Cassian to do that, right? Like
No, we
have
don't.
Other guys who are tough, not tough guys, but like
Yeah, Vander Kane.
Nurse is someone who would fight if he really.
And the Oilers are a more veteran group now, as weird as that is to say about McDavid and Draisaitl. Like no one is really going after them anymore. And Draisaitl will fuck you up if you do try to come at him. So there's that.
Here's the last thing on Warren Foegele that I'll mention. He also has played 33 playoff games in Carolina over 3 seasons. He has some playoff experience already, and he is at the ripe, tender age of 26.
Yeah, I could see.
And he looks different day to day. He grows a beard, gets a haircut. Sometimes he's wearing glasses. We need this kind of variety on terms of looks for players.
And well, that's
Drives
a
a
great
pickup
point.
truck.
There you does he?
Yeah, that was his big thing
But
in
he wears
Carolina.
those intellectual glasses. The guy's a riddle.
See, I also worry about doing the old Jordan Eberle,
Which you would be 100% because you'd be moving him for like a third rounder.
right? So do you really want to do that again? What like it's just I hate that message, right?
If your left side next season is Kane, Hyman, Holloway, like there's just not a lot of room for Foegele at 275.
There's no way they can keep Kane. He's going to get like 10 offer sheets there.
That's what I think too. Is I think he's playing so well that he's gonna.
I don't think he's going to have any loyalty here. He's going to take where the money is.
No,
I don't know about that.
But if he gets that payout from San Jose, does he that can still happen, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Would he even need the money?
That's my
Well, that's what Gregor's thought was. I was talking about Gregor, and he's just like, well, if he gets the payout from San Jose, then all of a sudden chasing the bag isn't.
Oh,
as
good.
important.
Now we're cheering for Evander Kane to get his San Jose payouts to help us. This is really going down the right moral path.
Yeah. It all makes
just like
sense.
we're waiting on
good,
Duncan
good,
Keith to
good.
retire.
It all makes
Sure.
sense.
What Duncan Keith does this offseason is interesting too. I think he's coming back no matter what.
I think so too.
There's a lot of people holding out hope on that.
I think he
Your
should
M-Tech, I'm
be-
going to tell a joke. I'm going to need you to edit it out. Ready?
Oh no.
I'll mock it.
Here we go. Anything? Anybody? No, nothing? Okay, pull that out.
Thanks, Liam.
I can
And we're
see
back.
The rage on
jokes were
Tyler's
told.
face. The rage on Tyler's face is just building.
It's just a disrespect thing is really what it comes down to, and that's fine.
Disrespect.
I called it out in advance.
No, not yours. I'm talking about the 30 other ones.
Yeah, they're all jerks.
Yeah. Anyways,
Disrespect. Like I felt when you turned down my golf invitation.
Well,
I never turned it down, and you know that's false. And you got the big smirk on your face right now that people can't see behind the fancy Baggedmilk graphic that we put out on the video version, or they're listening to it
all
as a
I can hear
podcast.
is things coming home to roost right now.
I'm smiling through my pain.
Okie dokie.
Speaking about memes,
Oh, okay.
I've been thinking a lot about the sexy Pringles man.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, now you can't just say that. Can we have the background here?
Yeah, I follow a cartoonist on Instagram. His name's Tommy Siegel, and he draws logoed people like known logos, but he makes them a little sexy sometimes. And the Pringles man is very erotic, I would say.
He's got me hot and
Incredibly.
bothered.
So I was
You've
showing
been
him
locked up at home for a long time, haven't you, Bagmo?
a little bit too long, I'd say. A little bit too long. So I was showing the boys before the podcast started the sexy Pringles man, and I'm glad they agreed because it was very erotic. He's crawling out of a Pringles can. He's all jacked. He's got a bow tie on.
It's weird. Very weird.
I'm going to send it to you right after we're done here one game.
Does he have a big?
Did you see the bowling gift?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can.
That's the hardest part of the internet right now.
Bowling?
The bowling meme.
Bowling gift? Yeah.
Oh, what is it?
You didn't see it?
No, I want to know about it.
So
I'm not telling you anything. Nintendo tweeted about bowling and it triggered an avalanche of weird. And then the internet was turned off for 12 hours till everyone calmed down.
there's also been a trend for a while on TikTok, like cliche or not cliche, but like old school screens from bowling alleys.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're awesome.
So it's those, but like graphic designers make like really fucked up ones. So like,
Really
it's just,
fucked up.
yeah, it's just like really weird stuff that I'm not going to get into on the pod, but like dark stuff sometimes. It's
Mm-hmm.
quite funny.
And then
anyway.
Nintendo has no idea. It's like, Wii bowling rule.
Yeah, Wii Bowling's coming back. And it's like, okie doke. I tweeted out from the real life Twitter if anyone could name Matthew Waugh. And I said we talked about him on the pod and no one's guessed yet. Oh, there's one reply, but it won't let me see it. All right.
It is. It is an accurate guess.
Really?
Yep.
Good for who got it?
Electronic Jordan.
Oh, Electronic Jordan. He's quick.
What is
I
that?
bet you probably just Google image search the photo.
That's what I would do.
It's an easy
We have the
workaround.
technology to do it.
Yeah.
I've watched a lot of Catfish, Tyler. That's how they got the ball rolling.
Really?
Yep.
The
Google
reverse
search.
image search that shit.
That's how you
What you
always,
got to do if you're going to catfish someone is go to thisfacedoesn'texist.com.
Mhm.
That's AI making people who don't exist.
That's scary shit to me.
That doesn't sit right with
Weirds
me.
me out.
None of those people are real, bros.
It's weird.
Well, I didn't invent it.
Anywho.
The CIA did.
Righty. Any other Oilers topics to get to, or are we kind of good there?
Once
Well, did
again.
we talk about Leon getting filled?
Yeah. 50. Leon.
Wow.
The shirt Kennedy designed is unbelievable.
So she's so good.
So good.
She
Is
is
she
a,
like Leon?
rumor
I
has
don't
it.
know. I don't think so.
JK.
I asked her how many Leon jerseys she had after she tweeted, "Don't ask me how many Leon jerseys I have." And on brand, she wouldn't tell me. So I'm guessing it's a lot.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot.
I don't know how many flavors
I've
you can
seen
get,
her
really.
wearing 3 or 4. She has like the All-Star Leon. She got a lot of Leon.
And she got German Leon too.
Yeah, that's
a
sick.
rarity.
Yep.
Liam, why are you just Googling Jordan Greenway?
I was looking at Warren Foegele's contract. Most comparable was Jordan Greenway. So I was curious how Jordan Greenway is doing this year.
I'm glad more people are talking about.
Hell is Jordan Greenway?
He's a big man from Minnesota.
Is he the big man?
That's what I say.
6'6".
That is a big
I
man.
think his family's from like St. Albert or something. His brother's called Tyson Greenway. Our cousin's called Tyson Greenway. Plays for the Tri-City Americans.
It's actually his cousin?
Oh yeah, they're cousins.
I thought isn't Jordan American?
Yeah, like I think his dad might be like Tyson Greenway's dad might be American, and that's his Jordan Greenway's dad's brother or something like that.
You know a shocking amount about the Greenway
This
family.
guy came to Crusaders camp.
Ah.
Oh, well, there you go.
There you go.
There you
St.
go.
Albert.
That explains everything.
Oh, St. Albert Raiders.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, you know. But yeah, Fogel's having a better year than Greenway, points-wise, apparently. I think. There you go.
It is an absolutely unreal sports weekend. Zach and I have been dialed into the Masters throughout this entire podcast, which is why I'm barely talking.
Frozen 4.
Frozen
Jay's
4.
opening day tomorrow.
Jay's opening day.
Aussie Grand Prix. Anyone?
F1, I'm excited. I'm not there yet, Liam. I'm going to finish the series.
Grand Prix. What the fuck?
Well, this office is very quickly turning it into an F1 office, and I didn't see this shit coming.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch through them post surgery next week. So I'm gonna binge it all in about a week.
I have 4 friends that now talk about Grand Prix. It's pretty big. I had 0 last year, so.
Jay had been selling me on this docu-series, F1 Drive
Don't
to
worry, Liam, you
Survive.
got us.
Yes.
Jay's been selling me on this for months now, it feels like. And on the way back from Calgary, he's like, "Man, you like sports documentaries. I just think you're going to like it." And I was like, "Okay, fine." I've already through season 1. It just burned through it. They do it such a good job.
Yeah, they do. It's just so different because it's such a sport that like you kind of don't know anyone, like because everyone has a helmet on, right? So you can't see what anyone looks like when you're actually watching. But when you watch Drive to Survive, you have all these storylines that you just know about, and you actually, like drivers become like personable in a way. You know, you kind of build characters and makes you want to watch it more. You understand it, I guess, is the best way to talk.
I bet on the last F1 race and it hit, and I had no idea what I was doing.
I bet a lot of money
was
last
exciting.
time, and I won.
I took the winning band, so the winner to be between 5 and 10 seconds, and it hit. So that was pretty exciting.
On the last race?
Yeah, or the one before that. I don't know. One of them recently. It was like plus 400. I was like, hey, I like those odds.
Yeah, it's pretty close this year, just with who's at the front. I don't want to give any spoilers to Baggedmilk, but
Thank you.
On the Australian Grand Prix.
Yeah.
starts at 11 p.m. on Saturday, right after the Oilers game.
I was trying to think of like how you could do a similar documentary for hockey.
I don't think you could.
They've done it with like the Winter Classic stuff, right?
And they did this stuff too, in a way, with like they do the draft shows sometimes. And
Yeah.
they pick like 4 or 5 players. Like I remember once they did it with Travis Konechny was on one of them, and
But like my point, I guess, I was getting to would be there's no way the NHL. So Wanya, just to give you a little bit of context, in this F1 docuseries, there's a lot of beef. Whether it's between
Each other.
Yes.
whether it's between teams, like different teams, obviously it makes sense they would have beef, but teammates on the same team often have more beef than anyone else. And I find it fascinating. So I'm thinking that the NHL, even if that shit was on camera, they just wouldn't air it because it's too interesting.
Yeah.
They take everything good out.
Yeah. And that's what this show does a good job of. It leaves all that stuff in there. Like you've got team owners arguing, you've got team managers arguing, you've got teammates arguing. Everybody's fucking fighting on the show, and I love it.
Your Jack, who on the Oilers do you think doesn't like each other?
Oh, I like this game.
No one? I don't know.
I
You think
bet.
every Oiler likes each other?
No, but I couldn't tell you who doesn't like who. I don't think it's like that. I don't get any vibes like that from any two players.
Do you think Mikko and Smith like each other?
To an extent, yes.
Everybody love everybody.
See, you guys you feel uncomfortable speculating who doesn't like each other. You could never make this documentary about the Oilers.
That's an excellent point. I like the way you made that point too.
Nobody could see Baggedmilk's face there, but he had a massive grin on his face looking at Tyler.
I like when Tyler's on the spot.
Yeah, that's fair.
I know 2 Oilers that didn't like each other.
Go on.
One of them now plays for Calgary, and is the guy that Coach Sutter would most likely bring to his ranch to work.
Mhm.
And the other guy just scored his 50th goal.
Allegedly, in your opinion.
They don't like each other. Prove legal damages, Your Highness, or Honor, rather. You're a judge. I'm not slandering anybody. I'm saying they didn't like each other.
That's fair. I remember.
I didn't say they sued each other. I said they didn't like each other.
Although the 50,
Senators generally don't like each other. There's always beef on the Sens.
I mean,
the 50 goal guy, I remember, did make a nice Instagram post about the other one when he played in his 500th game or 1,000th game or whatever.
1,000th game.
Professional courtesy.
Yep. Very nice. They keep it professional.
I think you spend enough time around anybody, even in the workplace sometimes. And, there starts to be a little bit of disdain. Like, I mean, look at Baggedmilk and look at Tyler here today, right?
Yeah, we're spicy.
I mean,
but that all comes from a place of love. We intensely care about each other too much.
That's
what
fair
on
point,
earth?
honestly.
That's not like the other two at all.
Tyler, if you really loved Baggedmilk, you would just come and kiss him right now on this podcast.
I'm collecting the interest, Zach.
I'll move out of the way.
Collecting the interest.
That's all good. Anyways, big sports weekend. Blue Jays. I wanted to plug that quickly because Cam and I have our Blue Jays Nation Radio season preview episode brought to you by PointsBet Canada out now. If you're sitting there and if you're like Baggedmilk, you're like, hey, I want to get really, really into the Toronto Blue Jays this year because they're exciting. They got the second best odds to win the World Series this year. Go listen to that episode. It is. Yeah, they're going to be one of the best teams in the league.
Let's go get me a jersey soon. We'll make a little content.
Yep, I love that idea.
You gonna get Kelly Gruber?
Yep. No, I'm gonna pick up a Bo Bichette.
Bo Bichette.
Yeah,
I could use a Jazz jersey.
Boba Fett?
Yeah. They put me, Boba Fett is my guy. They put me on the spot on BJN Radio. Coombsy and Tyler did. And just last year as I was watching, Bo knows.
He does.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite player, Tyler?
Like if you were in my spot and you were like, you're going to go pick your guy's jersey.
I have a lot of favorites on that team. Don't
do this to me. I want one.
I know
you
where
have to pick.
Go.
Well, who's your pick, Zach?
I'd go with Alec Manoah.
See, that was another recommendation that they had from
last year. Yeah. Or Springer Dingers. I mean,
I'm a Bo guy though. I am. I've always loved
So
Bo.
you like my pick then?
Yeah.
Excellent.
But Baggy, I think we're going to be writing at BJN a bit this year, aren't we?
You betcha. I'm a Jays guy now.
I know nothing about baseball. Well, not nothing. I played MLB The Show last year, so
all you need to know.
Yep. Expert. I always like Ryan Goins, which is a really random one, but thought he always worked hard.
Real fans have random jerseys. That's what I always say.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a jersey. I'm a fake fan. I actually don't have cable anymore, so I haven't watched the Blue Jays in like 2 years.
That's disappointing.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
But they've also not.
You don't need cable to watch sports, Liam. I'll tell you about it when you're older.
All right.
Stream that shit, my friend.
Before we wrap up, got to give some love to DoorDash and Doodle Noodle. Promo code RealLifeDD gets you 25% off. No delivery fees on your first order. Ding dong. Real life.
I will say that my sister, I feel like, is single-handedly keeping the Fort Saskatchewan location afloat. She has gone.
Is that right?
She is. It's right across from their spot where their store is. So she has been there a lot.
I live right behind them.
Thank her.
I have been once.
Really?
The Sherwood Park one. I live right by it.
Oh, it's delicious.
It is very good. After we had it, I just got the same thing.
At deadline day?
Yeah, I went back like a week later.
Oh, at Tokyo Glaze.
It's like that.
Yeah.
You're a good man, Liam.
Thank you. Keeping it alive.
He's used to cucumber sandwiches and shit like that. So there was a lot of flavor for him to get used to.
Extra butter.
Yeah.
You'll laugh at me for this since you like laughing at my food choices.
Yes.
So the other night I had just finished up doing some work and it was like 10 o'clock and I sat in bed and I was like, damn it, I'm hungry. What am I going to eat? And I'm sitting there on TikTok and I watched a video of someone making bread and I was like, you know what I could go for? Just a nice piece of bread. So I got up.
Nothing on it.
I toasted it, put some butter on it. So I had a piece of bread with just butter on it. And then I was like, God, I'm still hungry. So I opened the fridge and there was just a little bowl of plain penne. And I just ate it.
Just no sauce.
Just ate it.
No sauce.
It's like, by that point, it was like 10:15. So I was hungry. I was sitting there. I was like, what should I eat? I had a piece of plain bread and then just a bowl of cold cooked penne noodles with nuts.
For dessert, a spoonful of flour,
Yeah.
a tablespoon of sugar, and you made a biscuit in your mouth.
Washed it all down with a room temperature glass of water.
I did. I thought you'd get a kick out of that though, Baggedmilk.
big carbs guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're carving up before bed. I don't know about that.
I mean, Tyler could afford to put on a few pounds.
Yeah.
That is fair. All right. We're going to wrap up this week's episode of the show. Liam, do you have the extra button there on the Roadcaster you could hit? All right. Episode 368 of the Real Life Podcast, brought to you by the HGA Group, is over. Have a good weekend. We'll talk on Monday.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Real Life Podcast. Don't want to miss any of our nonsense? Hit the subscribe button and give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram.